Okay. Hello, my friends. We are here. We made it through another week. We're doing all the things. We are trying to be our artist selves in the middle of a crazy, crazy time. And I'm so glad that you're here with me. I am so grateful to be doing the work that I am doing right now, both in my work life as a vocal coach and in my personal journey with everything, as a musician, as a human, as a partner, as everything. Lots has come up this week, and I think it's all really good and really related, and just like I'm so grateful to be doing this work with you and alongside you. The nervous system has been everything lately. I just so happen to be working on some really deep body nervous system stuff with a professional, and everything relates to the nervous system. Everything is encompassed by what our nervous system is doing. Like Ribiro says, it's our canvas for everything. It's our canvas for performing. It's our canvas for life. It's how we see everything. It's how we see other people. It's how we see ourselves. It's how we walk into any situation. It's how we are able to leave our houses every day. It is so much of what we do. And now I'm learning all the other layers. Like I've been so on a deep dive about the nervous system for performing the last 4 or 5 years, but like now I'm really diving into what my nervous system is doing just on a daily basis, when I am walking around the house, when I'm eating food, when I'm talking to other people, like not as a singer, in the safe and social state. What is happening, what my body is filtering to me, it's really fascinating. So all that to be said, like this work is powerful and all-encompassing and deep and important, because so much is being learned about the nervous system still, and especially for us artists, like it's not something that we are taught. It's not something that shows up in community theater. Like directors don't know about this, producers don't know about this, the music industry doesn't know or care about your nervous system. Like it is half of your instrument or more, because as I usually say, like it's not about the technique. Like yes, we can work on technique, we can work on growing what's possible for you, but if you are not giving yourself the foundation of allowing your nervous system to do what it's doing, if you're always in resistance to the nerves, to whatever shows up in your body, if you're in resistance and angry about the fact that you have these nerves, that you're shaky, that your voice gets wobbly, if you're in resistance and denial about the fact that you can grow and that you do have merit and your voice has merit and you have beauty in your voice, if you don't start to allow all of these things through your filter, then growth is really hard to happen. Like I was watching another vocal coach's video, and she's like, I can be your cheerleader all you want, but like if you are not your own cheerleader, if you are not your biggest cheerleader, the growth that you're looking for is not going to happen, because in every single moment you have to practice saying, you know what, it's not happening right now. This big belty note is not happening right now. This run is not happening right now, but I do believe that I can do it, right? That's what a cheerleader does. It's like, yay, you got it. Let's go. You can do it, right? So even without the evidence that you have done it, or without the balance of evidence, right? Sometimes we have evidence that we can do it, but the overwhelming evidence is that we can't, right? Because we have more experience failing than we do succeeding most of the time as we're growing. That's just how it is. That's life. But then we have to keep going somehow, right? Even though the evidence is severely imbalanced to the fact that, like, yes, you're not hitting the goal, right? It's not good or bad. It's just you're not hitting what you intended. As far as like this big note or something, maybe it's still squeezed or something, or maybe it still sounds wobbly or something, to put it in real singing context. But you have to be the one to say, look, it's not happening right now, but I do believe that it can happen. I do believe in myself. I believe that I am stronger than I think. I believe that if I continue to take steps forward and keep supporting myself and say, whatever comes out is fine, whatever happens in my body is fine, with no judgment and no allowing a gremlin to take over completely, that's how we move forward. You know, when you are letting the gremlin drive the bus and you're like, well, it's just how it is. I just suck. I can't do it. I can't do new things. We have just lost the plot of, like, why are you here in the first place? Why are you trying to become a better singer? Why are you taking vocal lessons? You know? So this may be tough love for some of you, but like, if you are relying on a coach or somebody else to tell you that you got it and you're doing good, that's kind of beside the point of this whole process of growth. You have to be the one to say, look, I can do hard things. I've done hard things in other parts of my life. Why is this any different? We put so much pressure on ourselves as singers, so much pressure to get it exactly right, to get it exactly like the recording, to sound exactly like Pink, to sound exactly like Teddy Swims, whoever we're trying to sing, or whoever our role model is. But there's a missing piece of, like, you know what it feels like to grow in other parts of your life, right? Like, you started at your job at some point and you were not good at it. You started going to school for the thing and you had no idea what was happening, and over time you failed and you didn't understand stuff, and then you got better, but that took years, right? We have to approach singing the same way, especially if you're not in a vocal university program, right? Like anything else, it takes years. And if you're doing your own vocal training, like if you're watching my videos and coaching yourself, that's great. Just know that you have to be as strong of a cheerleader as I would for you. And I am a fierce cheerleader, so you got some some catching up to do. Like, everything that comes out of your mouth, as long as it is intentionally in the direction of growth, is great. It's so good. I always tell people, like, when they have a wobbly note, I'm like, good. That's what we're looking for. I want you to wobble. That's the goal, because if you're not allowing yourself to wobble, that means you're so tight, nothing ever is going to happen. You're not going to get to that big belty note if you're so tight that you're not even letting a wobble out, you know? So that is the main overarching principle of nervous system training, is like, the goal is not to be completely regulated all the time. The goal is not to be calm all the time. The goal is not to be perfect all the time. The goal is to fail. The goal is on purpose to get angry and frustrated. And that's how we move that needle. You know, my health coach person today was coaching me through, like, this with muscle movement, right? That same thing. Hey, Marilyn. He was having me, like, hold my legs and my arms in a certain way so that they started to wobble and to shake. And the whole idea was that instead of just releasing and avoiding that feeling, that I held it there, and slowly, when the shaking subsided, then I could move. But, like, the goal was to allow my nervous system to feel like this bad outcome was safer, right? Slowly, little bits at a time. And it makes so much sense, because that's what I do with you guys. Like, we move the needle in such small ways, accepting mess ups, accepting mistakes, accepting weird notes. But we know that if we mess up and we get angry at ourselves, that is not the way forward. Because you getting mad at yourself is attack language to your nervous system, right? And so when you mess up, the idea is to say, great, that happened. More evidence, right? Another chance to try it again in a different way. Try another pathway and see what I can do to move that needle slowly, methodically, little bits at a time, so that my nervous system is not shocked and overwhelmed and feeling like attacked and judgmental, like there's judgmental stimulus coming at you, right? Because I don't know about you, but when you feel like you're being judged, you're not going to take risks to do something even bigger. You know, you get small. Your body gets small. Same with your voice. We squeeze the voice. When you're feeling judged, we squeeze and we either pull away and we stop trying so hard, we put less air behind it, or we try more because we're trying to please that voice. And so we over effort, we squeeze, we try and get these high notes by reaching. But that's not the body coordination that helps you get to those high notes. It's not the helpful thing. It's not a helpful state of being for your body, because when you are a little more open and a little looser, able to move, then you can try something different, right? Then you can expand. And especially for big high notes, in that example, it needs as much relinquishing control in here, whether it's your lips that are over tensing, or your jaw, or your external vocal muscles, or your larynx moving. All of that, it depends on the person, different coordinations of all that, combinations of all that. But whatever your squeeze mechanism is, the way out of that is to say on purpose, okay, look, I know, I understand that we are feeling unsafe right now. You don't have to be perfect, you don't have to be calm, but what can I do to help you move a little more, to help loosen up this mechanism and show you that we are safe in this moment, so that you feel safe. I'm talking to my body, so that I can show you that we are safe, so that you feel like you can stand down a little bit. Not all the way, because that's not really possible. Most of the time when I'm singing in front of another person, I don't feel anywhere close to how I feel when I'm singing in my car or in the shower. Like that amount of safety is just not there. And it's not really possible until you're way down the line for most of us. But it is important to acknowledge, like, this is where my nervous system is right now. This is okay. I am feeling a little bit scared of what this person's going to think if I hit this high note wrong, quote unquote wrong, or if I wobble, or if I crack or something. That is understandable, and totally just another form of your biological response to keeping you safe. Absolutely part of this whole deal of having a nervous system and being human. What's not required, however, is you judging yourself and saying, that sucked, I bet you're not going to be able to hit it, right? That's a gremlin voice. And that is a deterrent to the nervous system growth that I'm talking about. That is, it's another form of attack. And when you are attacking yourself, it's just as bad or worse for your nervous system's feeling of safety as having an actual person telling you suck, another person outside of you, right? It's still judgment. It's still, you're terrible, why are you doing this? And so we get small again. And that is not the ideal environment for opening and growing and trying this note from a place of solidarity with yourself and trust in yourself that you can do it and let go, and that something good will come out when you do let go. So much of our feeling of unsafety just leads to us holding on for dear life, so that we feel like we're in control of this, when so much of singing is letting the heck go. we have to be able to let go way more than our nervous system in these dysregulated states is naturally letting us. And that these dysregulated states are bad. It just means your nervous system is calibrated to feel that unsafety and to pull you back from that perceived danger, which is absolutely normal, right? But we can train it to see different things as not as dangerous. Yeah, go back and watch that again if you need to. We can train it to see things as not as dangerous. Like, for example, if when you're a kid, you got a dog for the first time, you may have been like, I don't know what this animal is. What's happening? Is it going to bite me? It feels aggressive. It wants to get in my face. And then over time, the dog gets trained. You get trained to feel as though the dog is safe because the dog keeps being around you and not being a problem, right? And so you get to know that this dog is safe and that you actually like dogs. And then you love them, right? You want a dog in your life. That is an example of nervous system training. The more something is usual in your life, the more it becomes less scary, right? Just the whole idea of an animal is a really good metaphor for what we feel is this scary thing of performing in front of other people. It's unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm not in that dog's brain. I don't know what the dog's going to do. Some people are bad at training dogs, and dogs are actually aggressive. How do I know how to approach this dog until I get in their energy and I, over time, get used to it? So dogs that I know are now super comfortable, and I'm excited to see them instead of being like, I don't know who this dog is, what their deal is. So if you need to think of it that way, it might help. Just remind yourself, like, hey, this is still unusual for me. This idea of performing in front of people, this idea of hitting these big notes that I haven't hit before, it's unusual. It's not the end of the world. But my nervous system still feels like it is because it's unusual. It doesn't happen every day in my life. So the more we can put that every day in your life without judgment, because again, that's another form of negative stimulation, an attack to your nervous system, the more we can add this in and keep trying a little bit every day to keep hitting that big scary note. And the more you do that, the more usual it becomes, and the more your body can settle down and open up and be loose, and the better you sound hitting that note. Yes, practice makes perfect, but also it's not just because of the skill, it's because your body feels more attuned and used to this thing that you're trying to do. And that's the other half of practice makes perfect, because your body, your nervous system is able to relate to it in a more calm way, instead of squeezing and going, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's okay, and I'm going to let it out anyway. That's your work, is to get to the other side of that instead of stopping at the I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm just going to squeeze and nothing's going to come out, or I'm going to over squeeze and it's going to wobble and crack. Your job is to be like, look, I don't know what's going to happen and it might squeeze, but that's okay. That's your job, right? Is to be like, anything that happens is okay. I'm not going to judge a wobble or a crack, because I know, for whatever reason, because Sarah told me, that leads to more unsafety in my body. And I don't want that, because I know that's not how I grow. Now, if you were raised in a very punitive manner, this might be very hard for your body to grasp. Believe me, I get it. I put it on myself most of the time, honestly, like, because I needed to get all the good grades and all that. And so like when I didn't get a good grade, I would be so hard on myself, because I felt like it was like a bad reflection on myself as a human, and I was not good enough and all that. And a lot of other societal reasons as well, that are put on us as women, etc. But in those moments where nowadays I sing and I get something wrong, of course the first instinct is to be like, crap, I fucked that up, right? Not helpful. But That's a part of my instinct. That's a part of my patterning. What I can choose, because I can't choose my patterning, whatever traumas you have, I can choose the reaction I have to that. I can choose the second thing that shows up. So I can say, oh, no, that's not a real thing. Like, oh, that voice in my head says, oh man, I suck. I messed that up. I'm terrible. That second voice now comes in and I'm like, no, I'm not terrible. I actually did it right a couple times ago, so I know I can do it. Let's be more objective. Let's say to that gremlin, thank you for keeping me safe. I appreciate you. I don't need you in this moment, so go the heck away. I'm going to have some gremlin free time now, and I'm going to try and be a scientist about it. I'm going to see if I can get back to that visualization or body coordination that got me to that note a couple times ago, instead of just judging myself, you know? That's basically why we do this work. That's why I'm here. Excuse me. So yeah, that's what we do. If this sounds like something you need, please let me know. Lucky for you, I am doing a free training on this on Saturday. It's not this whole topic, because of course I could talk for many, many days about it, but it's really fascinating. Just like the first couple steps into this work is what I'm doing, like an overall, like my top 5 tools as a singer with a nervous system, as a perfectionist, anxious, overthinking singer. The top 5 tools to get yourself on a better track, on a more efficient and sustainable track to actual growth in your singing this year, instead of just shitting on yourself over and over again and feeling stuck. That's not what it's called, but that's basically what I'm going to be talking about. It's called Every Note is Easy, and that may seem crazy to say, but I don't mean I'm going to make you in an instant. I'm not going to wave my magic wand and say, look, every note is easy now. Congratulations, you're Christina Aguilera. Nope, that's not how it works. This is just to show you that when you shift a couple different things about how you approach your own practice and your own singing over time, you can change how you feel about certain notes and how your body feels about certain notes. And that is how we grow. That's how actual change in the sound making process happens. When you change how your body feels about these notes and how your body is able to loosen, as I was talking about, especially when we're talking about high notes, how your body is able to loosen and open and put the fuel in the right place and then hit those notes with no problem. Just like a dog, you learn to feel safer with it in your body over time. So this is like a 6-month, year-long, maybe a couple-year process. I've had people change, however, in the first couple months after talking about this stuff. I've had people who go through my entire 6-month program go from being terrified to sing in front of me and like even their family, but especially me, but even themselves sometimes. And then at the end of 6 months, they are singing in front of people, no problem. Busking on the street, no problem, with very little fear. Of course, the fear is there, but like way less than usual. Recording whole songs to put on an album. This stuff makes a difference. And then I've also had people just do a trial session with me, and they show up like 3 months later, and they're like, oh my God, all that stuff you were telling me about, like, mindset stuff and nervous system stuff, like I was able to get on stage and have the time of my life and not be so nervous I vomited. Like, this is big deal stuff, and like I'm able to hit these big high notes that I never thought I would be able to hit with no squeezing, with no pain and no strain. This is nervous system work too. Technique is nervous system work at its very core. So they are intrinsically linked. So if you think I'm not going to teach you any technique, that's also not true. It's all related. So there you go. Saturday, February 8th, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's free. You can go sign up in the thingy in the thing. And if you will be there, I will see you then. I'm so excited to have you. There's also a replay. So if you can't make it live, totally get it. It's a busy weekend. If you can't make it, there will be a replay. I'll send it to you. Also, we'll probably be doing this again at some point. But the replay is the easiest one because you can watch it whenever you want. So much love. I hope to see you on Saturday. Little disclaimer, I will be talking about my program Vocal Magic at the end. In case you would like to work with me, that is the way this year. It's a new structure, new vibe, new community, new everything. I'm excited. It's a big change for me too, so my nervous system is going like, are you sure you want to do this? But I'm like, yes. I have to take little steps every day to make it more usual, make it more normal in my life, and it's feeling better. And I'm really stoked about it. It's going to be so good. It's just new and different and exciting. Why am I'm not doing anything with my hand that looks like a thumbs down. That doesn't make any sense. Silly Instagram. Thumbs up. Let's see if it does that. Yay. No, of course not. All right. Well, lots of love. I'll see you later. Thanks for being here. If you watched this far, put a dolphin emoji or something. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you.